Thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening for another candidate forum sponsored by the League of Women Voters of the Red River Valley. We thank the City of Fargo, as always, for lending us the Commission Chamber quarters and for running the cameras for us so that we can also appear on Cable 1, both now and on repeats. And we will also get the videos up online via YouTube and our website as soon as we can. Begin this evening, we will have two candidates from District 11 for the North Dakota Legislature who are running unopposed, and they will each be able to give a 2-minute statement. Who wants to start? Chris Wallman will start.
Am I good?
Yeah, you just get it close to you.
All right. My name is Chris Wallman, and I'm running for the House of Representatives in District 11, which is south in the more historic area of Fargo, to the Red River, all the way over to 94. We cover a lot of commercial area, much residential, and a lot of diversity in our area. I'm running after having served, first of all, my husband, when I left the house this morning, he asked me if I got a job with Delta Airlines. And no, I didn't. I do policy research for a small nonprofit here in Fargo called the Red River Valley Autism Network, which is a nonprofit that I helped co-found many years ago that advocates for kids on the autism spectrum and support for their families. In fact, tomorrow I'll be on a panel for some legislation that we got passed in the last session, which is for a database so we know how many folks have autism in our community. So some of the things that I work on, I am a parent of two children, a 10 and 11-year-old, and we live in District 11. Some of the things that are important to me that I'll be working on in Bismarck are early childhood education. We have a tremendous need in our state to make sure that our kids have the best start they can so that when they get to school, they're prepared to learn. There's lots of research out there right now. My buddy Bob Grunwald down at the Federal Reserve has estimated and done research that shows that for every $1 you invest in early childhood education, you get a $7 return. Over the lifespan in terms of social services not being used and so forth. So that's a win-win for everyone. And in the last session, in my tenure on the school board in Fargo in the last 4 years, we were able to use local dollars towards pre-K, but there was no independent funding stream for that, which I think is a real necessity for us. We can afford it. We can have a world-class education here in the state of North Dakota and certainly in Fargo, because as a community we've always valued education, and I know my constituents in District 11 value that too. So we'll be looking at permanent flood protection, permanent property tax reductions that are sustainable over time, and a lot of other really important things like our oil impacted communities in the West. I hope we can focus on local control, because when I read candidates say we don't want to send a blank check out to our oil impacted communities, I feel really nervous about that, because those people know better than anyone else how to spend the money. That the revenue that's coming from their communities ought to go back. So I know we're going to be taking a long, hard look at that. And those are the things that are at the top of my list of priorities. So I see so many familiar faces, many from District 11, and I'm thankful that you came out tonight.
Thank you. Senator Mathern.
Thank you to the League for sponsoring this event and for the citizens who've come here this evening. I wanted to note that Representative Ron Gugesberg was unable to be here. He is a legislator from our district. He is a fireman in the city and was called to work today, and that's why he's not here. I have been the state senator in Fargo since 1986. Basically served the territory between 13th Avenue and I-94, Red River to the I-29 with some spillover on both sides. The history I have in work in this district include I presently am employed at Prairie St. John's Hospital. I was the administrator of Nativity Church before that, and before that for 25 years I worked at Catholic Family Service. I'm a graduate of North Dakota State University, the University of Nebraska, and Harvard University. My work in the legislature presently focuses on being on the Appropriations Committee. Appropriations Committee basically determines where the money is spent in terms of its recommendation to the legislature, In the interim, I serve on the Health Committee, the Human Service Committee, and the Healthcare Reform Committee. 5 issues that I think are important coming up this legislative session. One is the situation of Fargo, permanent flood protection we need. Another is a sustainable property tax reform, which I believe should be in the form of a permanent $100,000 property tax credit to each homeowner and a similar dollar amount to renters. That should be in our law. Responsible energy development in the West so that we don't end up having an industrial wasteland. A safer community, which I believe should be focused on proper services for persons with drug addictions, for persons who are suffering from mental illness. And then another major area of our concern is education. Education needs to be available for children, early education beyond our traditional first grade kindergarten education. It needs to be available to younger children, and we need to promote not only development of early education, but education for all of our citizens throughout their lives. The university system that we have in North Dakota is very important. I believe it's led in many ways the development that we have in our state. Some years ago, we had a choice whether or not we closed down half of our colleges or not. We made the choice as citizens to keep our colleges open, and we are now getting the benefit of those decisions. And so I believe education through the entire life cycle is valuable. Appreciate very much that you have come out tonight. Thank you for your support, and hope you all vote on November 4th. Thank you.
Thank you, candidates. And now we will switch around and bring the District 21 people here.